Okay, next, creating variables. Okay, how to create variables. So in the variable manager, we, as you know, we will create our variables. Definitely you need to follow some standard procedures here also. Okay, and if it is a value type, we have 4 different types of variables actually: value type, list type, array type, and random type. And based on the requirement, we will select the type of value, type of variable, value type or list type or array or random. Okay, based on the requirement. Okay, let's say for example, if you are planning to store a value type, if you are going for value type, the standard variable name is str, and the camel case thing again first name. Okay, this name should be appropriate to your BRD. It is according to your BRD. If you are going to store your first name, you have to give it as a first name, anything, this name. Okay, like this. Let's say you are going to store any integer type, int success. So this is the one variable which I am going to use in all my processes. All my process, whatever I am going to develop, I am going to use this int success variable. I will explain why I am using this, why I will use this. Actually, you need to. Okay, it is just a flag for us. Like flag, we will use this flags, right, in our codes. This is a flag for me. Okay, and if you, then there are some restrictions again. If you want to initialize, you can initialize over here. Otherwise, some clients are saying that you need to initialize variables outside in your task manager. I mean, in your editor only. Don't initialize variables. It depends. It varies from client to client actually. So if you if there is no restriction, you can initialize it over here. Like for example, in one of the clients, I don't have any restrictions. I used to initialize it here. If not, I will do the variable operation and initialize. There are 2 ways you can do. Just I place that empty and I will drag and drop my variable operation, and I will, sorry, int success to 0, like this. You can initialize it anyway if you want, based on their COE, their restrictions. You need to follow that. But this is, you have to follow int success, and you need to create it for each and every process. Why? We will explain. I will explain. Okay. And again, if you are going for a list type, same thing. In a list type, same. If it is a string type list, str list and the list name, my banks, and you need to add, definitely you need to, for creating any list type, if you are not going to add any minimum 1 value, if you are not adding any 1 value, it will not save. Definitely you need to add 1 value to it, L1. Anyway, it is not going to affect our development. It is just, at least list should have 1 value to it, then only it will. But that does not mean that it is going to store only 1 value to that list. You can store as much as you can, but at least 1 value it should have. That is L1. We are just initializing, like here we are initializing 1 value to it. Okay, you can store as much as you can. As you know, already you know about these things, I think, so I am not explaining in that detail. Okay, list type banks. Again, if you are going for array type, again same thing. Just differentiate what type of variable. By seeing itself, they should know. If it is empty, like int success, it is a value type. str list and the variable name, it is a list type. By seeing it at the variable, they don't have to each and every time, if somebody is looking at your code, and they don't have to check each and everything whether it is a list type or, to differentiate, to make our code more readable, we are doing this. Okay, if it is an array type, just place one array. Same thing again, str array. But for going to array, if you are planning to store any values, if you are planning to store values inside an array, you need to know the maximum number of rows, because in AA we have limitation. While creating, it will dynamically, it will not take that. How let's say you have 10 rows and 10 columns you have to store. Definitely the maximum number of rows which you are going to get, for which you are going to store, you need to specify before only. So whenever any BRD comes and you are, it is your duty. We are in the development now. So it is your duty to know if, let's say, for example, you are planning to store a table, full table, or an Excel data, or any database data to an array. It is your duty, right? You are going to develop. So you have to ask them, your SME, what is the maximum number of rows or columns I can get for this process. Okay, let's say if he says 100, 100, 500, 500, you can create as much as you can. But the thing is, we have a limitation that it will not dynamically increases like our list. In the list, we have added one value, initialized one value, but we can store as much as we can as a list. But inside array, you need to specify the maximum number of rows. Okay. If you have, he says 100, you can store 50 up to 100. That's it. Okay, like that. If you want to initialize, you can initialize it over here. Otherwise, if not required, just you can do it. Okay. And if you are going for random array, mostly we won't use that. If you are going for random array, again array instead of array, you have to place random over there. Okay. And I don't know how many of you know about random type. I just wanted to confirm that. How many of you know about random type? Any? Why we use that? Okay, let me explain. I'm sure many of them don't know. Okay, if you know, just leave it. What is random type first? For dynamic purpose, yes, that's correct, Hari. For dynamic purpose, but why dynamic purpose? Okay. So random type is like, for example, let me give you a scenario, real-time example where I have used it. I have to generate a password, default password. Once after creating one user, I have to generate one default password for that user. So okay, I can create it by using by variable operation. I can do extracting first two characters of that particular person, and I can from the date of birth, his date of birth, I can extract to date, and I can add my system date. We can create it like that. And the one more way is this random variable will be useful. You don't have to do all the extractions, anything. Just it will give you a random string type value. Let's say str, you need to set password, random password. This is my name, variable name, and I am giving a string length of 10 characters. Okay. So within those 10 characters, the string length is going to be 10 characters, but it is going to be look like a password for you. Let me show you. Each and every run, it will give you a different value. Like, sorry, number of times is going to be 5. Each and every run, it will show you a different value. If you have to generate any value or any password or any random number, you can do it by this way. Where is it? Random password. If there is any requirement for it, like this. In each and every run, it is going to give you a different type of values. Okay, five times different values. And if I run it again, it will show you different, not like whatever we have seen in the first run. It is going to be different. So they have created one code for it, so it is going to be different in each and every run. If it is any requirement for you to generate any passwords, you can make use of it instead of generating it dynamically or anything. Okay, somebody has questions for me. Yes. System generate default password. If once creating user, you will get some default password for each and so for those purpose. OTP, yeah, OTP purpose also we can use. Okay. Yeah, somebody is saying that OTP, yes, it is useful for you for generating OTP. Let's say in some OTPs you will get some random numbers. We have a random type also. If you want to go for numbers, you have to select it random number range, and you have to specify within that number how much. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So within these two numbers, it will select one random number for you. it will generate one random number. Okay, if you have any requirement, you can go for it. Random type. And array type, I don't know how many of you know how what are the limitations of array. If I ask you a question, what are the limitations? Just give me a sec, 1 sec. I don't know how many of you know about what are the limitations of array, where we can use it. We have different types of arrays actually. Just I have selected for your purpose, let me show you. We have only one array type, but array type, here we have 4 types. You can read it from the text file, you can read it from Excel, or you can read it from the database. So, but here you have some limitations. You are not supposed to read from text file or read from Excel. I don't know how many of you know, but you are not supposed to. Inside project, you are not supposed to. You can read, but inside projects, because if I use it, I need to pass my path. This is going to be hard coding. This is what I call it as a hard coding thing, because it is specific to my system only. This is specific to my system. It is giving you because the path may change, the name of that Excel may change. In those cases, it will fail. Up to here, we can eliminate by placing because we are creating a variable inside a variable. AI is not allowing us to place one more variable. Like to eliminate this path, C users, my system name and documents and automation in your files. Actually, we will use a system variable, AI application path. Okay, what is that use of that? Why we have to use? I will explain later. But the path may change, right? This CSV is always not same for me. This may change. Sebi.csv may change. They may change that name of that CSV. They may change the location of that CSV. So here AA will not allow you to place one more variable, to pass one more variable. If you press F1, F2, you won't get anything. So these are the limitations. You are not supposed to use these two. Yes, we can. If there is any requirement, if you have to extract data from a CSV or Excel or database or text file, and you have to save it in an array, then we can do it. We can do it by using our commands. We have different read from text file. We have one command for it. There we can eliminate all these challenges, all these limitations. We can place our variables. We can dynamically, if they change anything to that path or to that Excel or CSV, we can directly, our robo will understand. By passing variables, we can do that things. Here you are not allowed to. Just if you want to store anything from a CSV, you have to go for value type only. Okay, that is one of the limitations. And the number of rows are also limited, as I said. Definitely you have to know the maximum number of rows or columns you are going to store it over here. Okay, yep. Yes, we have. In list type, you can able to store only one row or one list of values which are separated by a specific delimiter. In list type, let's say you have bank names, a list of bank names, and each and everything is separated by a enter over there. HDFC, after one enter you have SBI, after that ICICI. Each and every value is separated by a delimiter. Whatever it may be comma, it may be full stop, it may be anything, but they are separated by one delimiter. Here we have columns and rows. Okay, you can store number of columns and number of rows as much as you can, but the thing is you have to know the maximum number of rows before developing itself. Okay, so this is how we will create our variables and task names. Okay, you have any doubts, any questions from online? Any questions? In array, how many rows and columns stored? As much as you can. There is no limit for it. Actually, there is 99, I think. Let me confirm for you. I think we can array type here. I think in the, inside it, 101, let me place it. 101, there is no limit. I think for list type or array type, we have a limitation for number of columns. I think, let me confirm for you. What if I place 500? Yeah, it is creating. Fine, I think. What if I store them? Yeah, we have no limitations. But most probably in real time we won't get maximum more than 100, I think, if you are going for array type. Whatever I have seen till now. Maybe if there is any, you can create. Okay. It is not showing any restrictions to us. Any questions?